This video will show you how to play Axis and Allies on gamesbyemail.com. Start the game by clicking on www2, and you can give the game a name, and then you select the number of players, and you indicate who's going to play. You put in their email address. You do not need an account to play on this, but it's useful if you're going to have it automatically notify you. So I've set up my normal account and my gaming account. Now these options here change the starting conditions of the game and can be used to make it easier or harder for one side. We'll just play with the basic game, so we'll start the game. So here is the map. The first thing you'll notice is there's a tooltip that follows the cursor around, and it will show two things. It shows you the territory and what's in the territory, and instructions for what you're supposed to do. As you can see, as you move around, the territories themselves only show one icon of each type of unit, and then when you put the cursor over it, you'll see that there are the actual count. You'll have to count the units to see how many you have there. Now the instructions say click anywhere on the map to start, so I'll click on the map to start. Now the first thing for every turn is you get to research. If you want to research, you pay. You click on the plus side, you pay 5 IPCs for a chance to roll at the research. If you roll a 6, you'll get one of these random researches. Usually we don't play with this. Then you have to purchase your units. And here you can play with purchasing your units. One very important feature is while all the dialogue, for all the dialogues that come up, you can always hold down the control key and the dialogue will disappear, which allows you to see the screen underneath it if you're uncertain where you want to, what units you want to buy. In this case, I'm going to buy 6 infantry and 1 armor. Now there's nothing left that I can click on, and I'll hit spend. Okay, now you can see the tooltip has changed. It's telling me to make my combat moves. In this game, you click on the location you want to attack to, and it determines all the units that can go there. So I'm going to have USSR attack the Ukraine. So I'll click here, and this shows me all the units that can attack there. So I'll send in my tank from Karelia, my airplane. It tells me it's moving 1 space out of its 4. From Russia, my tanks from Russia, all the guys from the Caucasus, because I think the Caucasus is the right place. Yep, it's right next to it. And then one of the guys from Karelia. I'm going to leave 2 behind. And you can see a little the squares blinking to let you know that there's a combat there. Now, amphibious assaults are a little different. Let's say I want to take these last 2 guys, load them up on this transport here, and come around and attack Western Europe. If I click on Western Europe, it'll show that there's nobody in range. So what you have to do is you have to click on the C zone outside, and it'll tell you what C units can move there. And you'll notice that the amphibious, transport has a load button. And this tells you all the places where you can load people. This is a very useful feature for the Japanese player because of all the people sitting around on the islands. So you click, I'm going to pick the 2 guys from Karelia, load and move, and now the 2 guys are loaded up. And I'll hit OK. So now you can see that I've moved here into the United Kingdom C zone, and the tooltip shows my transport with my 2 guys on it. And it says when you're done, you can press the done key. Now I've made a mistake here, but the game will catch me. So I'm going to press done, and a dialog box pops up and says, hey, you have transports in the United Kingdom C zone that you haven't assigned anywhere. So do you want to continue or go? Actually, I want to have them attack, so I'll hit cancel. And now, after I've moved them here, now I can click on Western Europe, and it says, oh yes, you have some people that you can attack with, so I'll have them attack. And That's it. Those are the 2 attacks I want to do. So I'll hit done. And now it's going to say resolve all combat. So the areas are blinking where you have to roll a dice. So this one, when you move your cursor over Ukraine, you can see all the units are in there. On the Western Europe one, you don't actually see the 2 amphibious assault guys. It even says amphibious assault units will have their sea zone battle resolved during the land battle, blah blah blah. It basically, they're there, they're not showing up on the tooltip. Now the game, you can go backwards and reconfigure everything you've done that turn, so long as you haven't rolled any dice. If I click this button down here, roll for combat, then that's it. All my choices have been locked in stone. Up to this point, I can go backwards until the beginning of my turn. Every option has a back. So I can go back from this. I can go back from here. You know what? I'm going to change my combat. I don't really want to attack Western Europe. So I'm going to go here and tell these guys I don't want them to attack. Then I'm going to go... It's alright, wrong place. I'm going to go here and say I don't want these guys to attack and be loaded. And instead, I want the 2 guys from Karelia, I want them to come down here. So I'm going to add those. So the total of all 3 guys from Karelia have come down here. I can even go back and change my purchases if I want. Say 1 less armor and 2 more infantry. Now it'll still remember a bunch of stuff. So I don't have to reassign all my attacks and stuff like that, but it's letting me know, okay, I have this attack here. Alright, I'm good with that. I'm just going to have the 1 attack. Now I'm going to resolve the attack. So I'll roll for combat, and the defender got 1 hit. Now you can see the defender's units have already been selected for the hits that I've caused. You have to manually select the unit that you want to get rid of. Once you've selected enough units, then the OK button will become available and you can click it. Got 1 more roll, and I have lost 1 more. So I have to click it, and you'll see the little yellowish, orangish square appear. And now I've won. Now after all the combat has been done, you have to land your combat equipment. In this case, you click on the territory where the airplanes were, and it'll tell you where they can land. Some of them, and it calculates the ranges for you, which is really nice. In this case, I want them both to go to Karelia. And again, if you're uncertain, you can hold down the control key and look. Yep, I want it to go to Karelia. And that's it with my combat. Now, I want to do non-combat moves, and in this case, I want to move this tank from Soviet Far East over to whatever this one is. So like combat, you click where you want to go to, and it'll show you all the things that you can move. So I'm going to move this tank there, and now I have my non-combat moves. Actually, I want to move all my units from Russia to here, so I'm going to move all my infantry. You can even move anti-air 1 space if you need to. And then I'm done. And it'll ask me where I want to place my guys. Well, you know, I can place some in Russia or Karelia. I'm going to place them all in Karelia because that's where my industrial complexes are. And then it shows me how much money I've collected. Since I've recaptured Ukraine, I get a little more IPCs. Now the last little bit is when units are the defenders in combat, it will by default get rid of the units that cost the least. However, let's say you're doing a amphibious assault and you really need your transport to live longer. You can actually grab and drag that, and it'll change the order so that it doesn't die too soon. But in most cases, you just order by cost and you're done. That's the default. Then I am done, and my turn is over. And so now it's waiting for the other user to make their turn.